they found a map that should not exist. It shows a continent at the bottom of the world, a continent we know as a wasteland of solid ice. But this map, drawn centuries ago, shows it with rivers, bays, coastlines free of any ice at all. This single startling image ignites a profound and unsettling question. Could ancient civilizations have explored and charted Antarctica long before the ice sheet formed, possessing a knowledge of our planet that history has completely forgotten? The idea itself is a shock to our modern understanding, suggesting a chapter of human history erased from our books, a story of incredible journeys and lost worlds. This mystery is not confined to a single document. The most famous is the Piri Reis map, compiled in 1513, assembled in Constantinople in 1513 by Ahmed Muhyiddin Piri. Piri Reis, a respected admiral and cartographer. He stated he compiled it from many older source maps, some said to date to the time of Alexander the Great, or earlier. The controversy sits along its southern edge, a coastline extending east from South America's tip. Proponents link it to Antarctica's Queen Maud Land, claiming it shows an ice-free shore, hidden today beneath miles of ice. That shoreline was charted in the 20th century with seismic and echo-sounding technology, far beyond the 16th century. Piri Reis cited around 20 charts, some captured from Spanish and Portuguese sailors, even one by Columbus. Yet the resemblance is partial, the scale is distorted, and the land connects to South America. If the Piri Reis map was a spark, the Oronteus Finaeus map of 1531 was an explosion. Created by French mathematician cartographer Oronteus Finaeus, it shows a vast southern continent, Terra Australis, roughly where Antarctica lies, a complete landmass with clear shape, mountain ranges, rivers, and a coastline free of ice, separate from South America. Proponents compare its outline to modern subglacial maps. Overall shape, the Ross Sea, the Weddell Sea, some features seem to align. Even coastal mountain belts appear in similar places. How could someone in 1531 draw an unseen continent's underlying topography? The map seems to confirm ancient sources might have circulated. Like Piri Reis, Finaeus was no crank. He used the best sources he had. The vision suggests a temperate, habitable Antarctica, a world science says hasn't existed for millions of years. Under scrutiny, many features do not match. The continent is too large and misplaced. To understand these maps, we must understand Terra Australis Incognita, the unknown southern land, a mainstream concept from the Greeks, Aristotle, Ptolemy, arguing Earth needed balance, a philosophical symmetry, not a report from voyages. For centuries, cartographers drew a sprawling southern continent, often connecting it to Africa or to South America. The outline changed from map to map. Artists filled unknowns with rivers and mountains as plausible ornament. Look at Finaeus, in context, a direct product of that tradition. Similarities may be chance among hundreds of imagined shapes. This is simpler than a lost Ice Age civilization, philosophy, guesswork, and art. Cartographers weren't copying Antarctic charts, they were imagining a continent they believed had to exist. While the maps are compelling, they must be measured against unyielding geological and climate facts. We read our planet's deep past from ice cores, sediment layers, and the fossil record. That record shows Antarctica has been cold for a very, very long time. It did not just freeze over recently, it's been buried under a massive ice sheet for millions of years, long before modern humans appeared. Glaciation began in earnest around 34 million years ago. The continent drifted to the South Pole, becoming thermally isolated. The East Antarctic ice sheet formed then, with cycles of warming and cooling, never returning to a temperate, ice-free state. West Antarctica is younger, but still millions of years old, in ice. This timeline is the theory's greatest challenge. Mapping an ice-free Antarctica would require advanced seafarers millions of years ago, or at least during rare ancient warm periods. But Homo sapiens appeared only about 300,000 years ago. Sophisticated boat building is far more recent. There's no archaeological or anthropological evidence for a global mapping civilization in deep antiquity.
The ice cores are an unassailable history book, a geologist might say. They record cold stretching back millions of years.
Accepting the maps literally would discard geology, paleontology, and archaeology to believe in a civilization that left no tools, no ruins, no bones, only a few supposed map copies. The burden of proof is immense. The scientific timeline makes it nearly insurmountable. The debate hinges on overlaying old coastlines on modern subglacial maps. Proponents point to specific bays, peninsulas, mountain ranges that seem to match. Side by side, the visual argument can feel persuasive, but comparison is fraught with problems. Old maps lack precision, consistent scale, and clear projections. Any fair comparison must guess a projection, then mathematically correct distortions. Interpretation and adjustment introduce subjectivity. Confirmation bias can creep in, stretch, rotate, rescale until something fits. Then ignore the vast areas that don't. Isolated, a portion looks similar, yet the Drake Passage is absent and the land fuses to South America. Finaeus vastly overstates size and position. Complex coastlines can match by chance. Our brains find patterns. Without global accuracy in scale, projection, and other continents, a few hits are weak evidence. To judge fairly, step into a 16th century map room. Their world was expanding at breathtaking pace. Cartographers synthesized logs, enemy charts, classical texts, persistent myths. Errors were inevitable. Reports contained misread coasts and huge longitude errors. Copying added distortion. Thick lines stretched coasts, islands merged. A plausible read, it's South America bent east to fit the page. A common practice, familiar features, but displaced and rotated. A mapping error, not Antarctica. Seen this way, the maps are historical treasures showing knowledge in motion, fact mingled with theory and rumor. Why does this theory persist despite scientific counterarguments? It offers powerful emotional and psychological appeal. A lost, advanced civilization is a romantic, enduring myth. It flatters us as heirs to a forgotten golden age, greater, wiser, more capable ancestors. History becomes a detective story. Maps become clues. Mainstream science the obstinate foil. It makes for gripping books, documentaries, and conversations, simple answers to complex questions. Ancient astronauts and maritime empires are thrilling. Projection errors and Terra Australis less so. Distrust of authority empowers the idea that amateurs can overturn consensus with a few clues. The maps become symbols of a hidden truth only the initiated can see. But good science and history follow evidence, not wishful thinking. In the final analysis, evidence for an ancient Antarctic survey is extremely thin. The maps are fascinating, not the smoking gun they first appear. Their supposed accuracy dissolves, errors in scale, projection, geography. Similarities are best explained by coincidence, tradition, and pattern-seeking minds. Most likely these maps are products of their time, a synthesis of known and unknown. Mapmakers combined hard-won data with the old belief in a great southern land. They are not photographs of a prehistoric world, but portraits of the Renaissance mind, wrestling with knowledge's edge. They teach the history of science, geography's evolution, and myth's persistence. A testament to our drive to explore and understand despite gaps. This isn't a lost civilization story. It's ours. The takeaway is critical thinking and a demand for solid proof.